Welcome everyone. Today we are going to look at question type 1 of IELTS listening, that's MCQ. MCQs can be solved in many different ways, but the one that I suggest is you should follow these three steps to answer MCQs perfectly. Number 1, you should identify keywords and understand what answers the question wants. So, identifying keywords is very important not only for MCQs but also for the whole listening test and also for reading test. We have a separated video for finding keywords. I suggest to give a watch to that video. Secondly, we are going to eliminate the odd ones out. As the audio plays, you are going to come and cross over with some of the options that are completely irrelevant with your question. Thus, you are going to cross it out for and it would reduce the options for you. Thus, you will have better chances to answer your questions more. Number 3, questions come in order, so look for answers accordingly. This means if the author has spoken about BC travel plan, expanding painting holidays, there is no way before expanding the painting holiday, the author would talk about cooking holiday. There is no way. It would obviously follow the order. Thus, uh, as this thing and MCQs follow order, we have to keep in mind. So, long story short, you first have to understand and read the questions. If necessary, you can write in bracket what the question wants and understand the options as well. The next part would be an MCQ uh, of section 2 of IELTS 10 of test 4. I will show you how I solve it, and I think it would help you to solve as well. I'll play the audio, and between the audio, after the end of section 1, you will have ample amount of time to read all these questions and find out the keywords and then just wait for the audio to play. So let's just go on and play the audio.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Well, in this half a minute, we will not check answers for our section 1. We would move to section 2 and read the MCQs. At first, what are the keywords in these questions? Okay, the viewers should pause and try to find, and I would do as well. Okay, why did a port originally develop at Manham? Here, port is a keyword, Manham is a keyword for optimum to section 2. Okay, so we'll get time as well. It was safe from enemy attack. Safe and enemy attack are keywords. It was convenient.
You will hear a recorded talk giving an introduction to the historical theme park of Manham Riverport in England. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15.
Okay, so here you get time to look at the questions. We are just underlining the keywords.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 50. Welcome to Manham Port.
Now we will 1,000 years face the audio clearly, and then I think you can take some time as well uh, when it's your first time. Okay, so what happened when the port declined in the 12th? Okay, port declined in the 20th century. We've mentioned in our keyword that 20th century is a very important keyword. So workers went away. It would be about workers. Did they went away or not? Traditional skills were lost. Were any skills lost? Buildings is a keyword. for new purposes. Okay. What did the Manhattan Trust hope to do? What did they hope to do? Manhattan Trust. It's about Manhattan Trust and the hope. Discover the location, provide jobs, rebuild the port complex. Okay. Uh, Now the audio will play and we would answer accordingly.
All the family can enjoy a day out at Manor. Visit our copper mine. See models of the machinery it used. Have your photo taken in 19th century costume. Experience at first hand how people lived at different stages throughout history, and especially how children studied, worked, and played.
We are no way closer to your answer yet. You would continue listening.
It's located in beautiful and peaceful countryside, on a bend in the great River Avon, and developed here because it's the highest navigable point of the Avon. Boats can go no higher up this river, and proved a handy place to load and unload cargo to and from the sea, which is over 23 miles away.
Okay. For the 11 number question, we can see that there is nothing mentioned about enemy attack. So enemy attack won't be our answer. Okay. There are two possible answers. The audio went like it's the highest navigable point of the Avon. Boats can go no higher up this river and prove the handy place to load and unload cargo to and from the sea. This means that it was not a good position on the sea coast because the boats can go no higher. So C would also not be the answer. Thus, our answer for 11 would be B. Now, moving on to the 12th one.
A small port was already established here when, about 900 years ago, tin was discovered nearby. Though it wasn't until the Industrial Revolution, when a tremendous need for metals of all kinds developed, that Manham expanded to become one of the busiest ports in the country.
Okay, so here, a small port was already established here about 900 years ago. Tin was about 900 years, tin was discovered nearby. So it was not during the Industrial Revolution. So C wouldn't be my answer. And though it wasn't until the Industrial Revolution when a tremendous need for metals of all kinds developed that Manham expanded to become one of the busiest ports in the country. So I do not think there is any mention for mining. The answer would be B because the demands for metals increased as we saw in our keyword. Okay, now we'll move to the 13 number question.
And because it was already so busy, prospectors began to look for other minerals. But by the end of the 19th century, lead, copper, manganese, and arsenic were added to the cargoes leaving Manham. In the early days, the ores had been smelted or processed in the same area they were mined. But as demand grew, the smelting process required huge factory furnaces or fires to melt the metal from the rock. And there was not enough coal in the local area, so the rocks containing minerals had to be shipped long distances.
Okay, so here, why did the rocks have to be sent away from Manham to be processed? They're asking the reason why they had to be processed. Okay. At first, the keywords are from the transcript, if we see, but as the demand grew, the smelting process required huge factory furnaces or fires to melt the metal from the rock, and there was not enough coal in the local area. So the rocks containing minerals had to be shipped long distances. Okay, so I do not think there is any mention of local people, so C wouldn't be my answer. Is there any mention of transport systems? I do not think there is any mention of transport systems. The only thing that is mentioned is there was not enough coal in the local area, so the rocks containing minerals had to be shipped long distance. That means the answer would be A. Okay, so now we are going to look for the 14th question. That is what happened when the port declined in the 20th century.
Sadly, in the 20th century, the great port of Mannheim declined, and thousands of workers were forced to emigrate out of the area. The building of the port fell into disrepair, and the place became almost forgotten. But then the Mannheim Trust.
Well, the Manhattan Trust in the next is in the next question. So, for 14th, we can see what happened when the port declined. There were no mention of skills. There are mentions of buildings, but if we read listen what is said, in the 20th century, the great port of Mannheim declined, and thousands of workers were forced to emigrate out of the area. There is obviously mention of workers. Uh, the building at the port fell into disrepair, and the place became almost forgotten. They were not used for new purposes, and the building were forgotten. That means the answer would be A, because a lot of workers went away. And now, if you look at for the Manhattan Trust answer,
Was formed to conserve the historical resources of the area. It organized scores of local volunteers to remove undergrowth to find the original outlines of the installations. It then brought in paid professionals to match installations with maps of the original port complex and to set about reconstructing it. Today, you can see the results of this ambitious program of restoration. The intention, and we believe this will be realized before the end of the year, is to return Mannheim Port to the condition it reached at its peak as the greatest copper port in the country.
okay, so here the most important thing is what did the Manhattan Trust hope to do? Did they provide jobs for the unemployed? I do not think B could be a right answer, so I'm going to cross the answer that says B. Uh, does it help to discover the location of the original port? I think this is what they do. Are they trying to rebuild? Uh, so I think C would be the answer. I think this is how we will solve, crossing out the odd ones and answering the right ones. See you in the next video. Thank you.